Today's guest is Carroll University, and we have a few people there. So I'm not sure, unfortunately, Teams doesn't tell me where y'all are from, but anybody from Carroll is welcome to unmute themselves now. And if you have any trouble, I know you had mentioned, Allison had mentioned wanting to share a screen. So again, that button is to share. It's right next to the leave button, and the floor is yours.
So hi everyone. My name is Allison Grabowski, and I'm really appreciate this opportunity to talk with you about how we use Accudemia as our landing page. So just to double check, Rachel, can you see our landing page on the screen?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Hey, thanks a lot. So again, thanks again. We were a previous user of AccuSQL, but because of COVID, we transitioned to Accudemia during the summer of 2020. And that transition allowed us not only to put all of our services online because of the pandemic, but to also put all of our service information and schedule information in one place. And that was a goal for many, many years. So that was a bonus for us, the bright side, I guess you could say, of COVID. So just a little bit about Carroll University. We're located 30 miles west of Milwaukee. We're a small private liberal arts university with a focus on health science programs. 60% of our student enrollment is in the health sciences. We typically have about 3,000 undergraduate students and about 500 graduate students. Our learning center, we call it the Learning Commons. It occupies the lower level of the library on our main campus. The heart of our Learning Commons is what we call our LC Info Desk, and that desk is open about 90 hours a week during fall and spring semester, and the study space in our Learning Center is open to our students as long as the library building is open. So in the Learning Commons, we offer a wide variety of academic support services based on the peer-to-peer model. Most of our services are group-based and drop-in. And we also offer some one-on-one appointments for writing assistants and math assistants. And with me today, I have three of my awesome colleagues. So at this point, I'm going to hand off to Michaela.
Hi everyone, I'm Michaela. I'm the Learning Commons Coordinator at Carroll, and I oversee the LC Info Desk and Writing Assistance and Spanish Conversation. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about a system that we use alongside Accudemia that has helped with our sign-ins to make them quicker and more efficient. And it is using QR codes as a means of having students sign in to Accudemia. So we use these QR codes for both our appointments and our drop-in sessions. Students, all the peer educators who work in the Learning Commons have this sign. Sorry, it's a little dark right here, but it says the service area, and then each tutor gets a name tag, and on the front is the QR code for signing in to LC Online or Accudemia as we use it. So for appointments, this QR code will take students to just the landing page of LC Online or Accudemia, and then they'll see their appointment and be able to sign in or view this or join the session from there. And for drop-in sessions, it's very similar, except we run the Teams link or we use the virtual sign-in link from Accudemia and then have that be the QR code, and then students can sign in from there. So we use a QR code website that's just a free website that lets you create these QR codes. There's like a ton of them out there, but I'll just show you the one that we have found to be reliable. It is the qrcodegenerator.com. So I'll just take the link from LC Online, our landing page for Accudemia, and stick it in here, and then it'll create a QR code for us that we can then copy and then use in our name tags for our peer educators. And then how we make those drop-in sign-in links is using the virtual sign-in right here. And then at the end of the sessions, on the back of the tutor name tag here is another QR code, which is linked to a Microsoft form. for students to fill out a 5-question evaluation about how the session went. That is a little bit about QR codes, and I'm going to pass it off to Joelle.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joelle Curry. I am the Supplemental Instruction Coordinator for the Learning Commons at Carroll. So I'm going to show you a little bit about how we post our schedules on Accudemia. So let me get that going there. So if you can see on our landing page, if you scroll down there, we have schedules posted for drop-in tutoring and supplemental instruction. Both of those services are drop-in sessions, so there's no appointment needed. So in order for students to know when those sessions are occurring, we have a couple different options. We have a big drop-in tutoring schedule that lists all of the sessions at once. So you could see today the tutoring sessions that are happening, and if you click, for example, on Nursing 100, it gives just a bit more info there, and it shows that that session takes place in the LC. So all of our tutoring sessions happen right in our Learning Commons space. There's a similar full schedule for SI. So these link out to Google, an embedded Google Calendar. And so for the SI sessions, the room location you can see is just posted right next to that as well. So those are the kind of the big schedules, but students most often just search for their course and click on the schedule that way. So for example, if a student was taking A&P 130, that's one of our courses that's supported by SI. They could click right on A&P 130 and it takes them to a Google Calendar where they can view all the sessions that are happening for this current week. I update, these are just embedded Google Calendars, so you can see kind of all of the, on the back end, here's all those calendars that I update as needed with session cancellations, exam reviews, etc. And again, they're just embedded, so those changes just automatically appear on this calendar that's viewable through Accudemia for students. So I'll show you kind of what it looks like for so some of these sessions are in person, some of them are online. If there's a room location in parentheses, that means it's in person. If it says online, then the session is online. So a student can click, for example, on this 5 p.m. session on Sundays of Gabby's, and they would click right here to join, and it would launch that Teams call for the session that way. So that's pretty much the gist of how we use that for posting schedules for our drop-in services. So I will pass it over to Lisa for now.
Thanks, Joelle. My name is Lisa Deegan. I am the Academic Strategy Coordinator here at Carroll. I'm going to spend a little bit of time just expanding on what my colleagues have said. And because Joelle was talking about calendars, let me launch into a conversation about, let me go right here. And let me see if I can't zoom a little bit on this. There we go. Let me expand on what Joelle was saying about calendars. Joelle talked about the drop-in tutoring and the supplemental instruction calendars right here. There's one more calendar down here at the bottom that I'll start with. To continue the calendar conversation, we have something called the Reading Writing Skills Lab. And if you click right here, again, takes you to another calendar. Our Reading Writing Skills Lab is drop-in in the same way that SI and our drop-in tutoring are structured. The only difference is that our Reading Writing Skills Lab is run by a faculty member who has obviously an expertise in writing. So it's a little bit more support than perhaps a tutor could offer. So that's another service that's available to our students. And you'll see that this is structured in the same way as the calendar that Joelle was showing you, or the calendars, plural. But there's also this subsection right here where we offer some additional assistance for those students who are English language learners who do not speak English natively. In addition, again, expanding on the idea of calendars, if you scroll down to the bottom of our landing page here, you'll see a full calendar for our Learning Commons desk. Allison mentioned that that's kind of the heart of our Learning Commons, our Learning Center. So you'll see all of the hours along with any special hours. You'll see that it's noted when it's closed for Thanksgiving. So this is yet another embedded Google Calendar that really helps our students stay up to date on the services that are available and what time. Sorry for the mad scrolling on the screen here. One other thing that I do want to point out is we have links to another form. Let me see here. Right, this second bullet point right here and the third one right here. We have something called an academic support request form. You'll also see a link to it up here on the right-hand side. An academic support request form is a general form. Let me launch a copy of it actually. That our students can fill out for a number of reasons. Perhaps they're looking for assistance in courses that offer drop-in tutoring or SI, but the times those tutoring sessions are offered don't match their availability. So then they can let us know and we can see what we can do to accommodate their personal needs. Or the other possibility is we offer academic strategy workshops. If students are interested in meeting with, we call them academic allies. These are tutors who are specially trained to work with their peers on time management or study skills, things of that sort. They can complete that form that I just had up on the screen here, and I'd be notified and we can then set up some type of special session for those individuals. The very last thing I want to talk to you about is we've been spending all this time talking about what the landing page looks like for us on Accudemia. In order to build this landing page, we built out 3 sections, this college news section, the center news, and then again down at the bottom, the calendar. And in order to do this, you go to administration and control panel, and then over to announcements. And in announcements, you're going to have 2 different, or at least 2 different options, very likely. The first one is your college and the second one is your center. If I click on the college and view settings, I'll have the option of, here's that calendar down at the bottom. So the college section will allow me to link in a calendar from Google. It will also allow me to change that college news. Let me see if I can show you. Right here. So this college news right here on the left-hand column, this is all of the text that you'll see on the screen. So behind this, you'll find some HTML code. You don't have to know how to write HTML code to do this, but it's called a what you see is what you get, the WYSIWYG editor. So you can format this in the way that you want to using colored text, bold, whatever the case may be. But let me back up and show you that you can also go to announcements and not only your college, but you can go specifically to your center, go to view settings. And now what I'm looking at right here is, wrong link, right here, the center news. So this right-hand panel, you can also change that. Notice you can do some cool stuff by like adding logos and again, as I've already mentioned, changing fonts, changing text, adding hyperlinks, whatever it is that you may need to do. And if for some reason you need the code, it's right there. You don't have to type in the code, but it is there for you as needed. That's it.
All right. Thank you, ladies, so much for your time. As Nick says, I think it's really neat to see how Accudemia is the hub for all these other cool technologies being used with the QR codes, Google Calendar, Teams for Carroll University. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. I agree. Thank you all so much. Does anybody else in the audience today have any questions for the Carroll University team?
I do have one quick question about the QR code.
Okay.
This is Mary Martinson with North Central Texas College. And we use the same sign in, but we have a kiosk at a computer. And so students come and sign in. And like you, we have many different types of students coming in. So it might be math lab, it might be writing center. We do a lot of health science printing. So we have a lot of that in common. And I wondered about the QR code. Because we do a single sign-on for our students. And so right now we're having some challenges when students try to sign in and they have to put their student ID, but a lot of our students now don't know their student ID because we went to single sign-on and they changed their username and password where it doesn't include their student ID anymore. So when you were talking about the QR code, that interested me. I wanted to know, when you make the QR code, will it direct them to all services and then they select it, or is it only to that one specific tutor appointment?
I can answer
Michaela?
this if you want. So we pre-select when you've created a link in the virtual sign-in before.
Yes.
So when you do that, we pre-select everything. So the professor, the
Okay.
class, and so then when they scan, and then what we do for the in-person sessions, where the actual link itself is just left blank. So then they scan the QR code, they're taken directly to Accudemia, and it will say, let's say I'm the tutor, it'll say, thank you for coming to Joelle's tutoring session. Please click, sign in to proceed. And
Okay.
then we automatically, so each tutor has their own link. And we've pre-selected those settings. You could leave off, of course, like professor, if you wanted the students to self-select the professor, for example, if they but you could leave off, whatever you wanted to, and then they would have to select it. But that's how we run it. We select it
And
all
they
for
use
them.
their own phones then.
Yep. And so we did this for one of the main reasons we don't have a kiosk like that. And the SI sessions are in classrooms, so they're not even in our center. So for those sessions, the SI leaders actually project the QR code on the screen at the start of the session, and yep, students just scan it with their phones to sign in.
Okay.
Mhm.
That is something that I had not thought of. That's why these lunch and learns are a good idea. So, okay, we might experiment with it a little bit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary.
Hmm?
Thank you, ladies. Any other questions from our audience? Okay, I think we are done with questions for the day. I think it sounds like nobody else has any at this time. I do want to point out, as always, we have our survey that helps us plan future sessions. So I'm going to go ahead and paste that in the chat if anybody hasn't taken it, or if it's been a while since you've taken it and you have any thoughts on how we can improve future sessions. We're always trying to keep these relevant and interesting for you all. But I want to thank everybody for your time today. I want to thank the Carroll University team for giving such a great presentation and for being so generous with your time and your information. And I want to thank all of you for joining us and hope that you all have a great rest of your week.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.